Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I have uploaded anything about Hunt. There has been a new update announcement. It's not out yet, this update, but I think it's a very important one, and it will affect the future also of the game, because we can see from this update what the devs are planning to do with the game. And the thing is Crytek finally listening? I think we are in a good direction, but we will see. Anyway, let's jump to the changes, and I will give my opinion about this at the end of the video. So, let's begin. This is the update on Steam, okay? Update 2.3, changes and priorities. Let's see. From update 2.3 onwards, we plan to reverse some previous decisions around the power creep of certain weapons and traits, as well as fixing some long-standing issues that impact gameplay and more. This will go hand in hand with additional focus on stability, bug fixing, and performance improvements for an overall smoother experience. Okay, this is good, and the game has a lot of problems that needs to be fixed. So, again, I will talk about this at the end, from what they're saying here, which I think is the most important part from all of these changes. So let's see the changes. Here are some of the reverts you can expect from update 2.3. Lightfoot. The Lightfoot trait no longer allows for silent crouching for solo hunters. I am a mainly solo player, and I have to say, a Lightfoot was a big advantage, okay? I think it was quite overpowered. I like it personally a lot. It saved me a lot of times, and I had some very good plays with it. And also, if you combine it with the blank decoys, you can really mess around with other players with this one. But I think it was quite overpowered, because in a game like Hunt that you rely a lot on sound, being silent, it was a big advantage. Of course, you are already at a big disadvantage as a solo hunter in general, especially if you go versus trios, but I think Lightfoot needed a nerf. Now, I don't like they're completely removing this effect from the trait, but I think it is fair to say that it needed to be nerfed in a way. Of course, you have the rest of the trait bonuses like vaulting and jumping or falling and all that being silent, but it's a nerf for solos. I think also the Lightfoot trait was, for me, much more overpowered than Necro. Necro works half the times in this game for solo hunters. The other half is useless, okay? Depending on your location, on if the enemy team is good, especially at high ranks, enemy players know how to cover a body, especially if it's a solo. They will cover you. Even if it's distance, they will try to find an angle to cover your body. So many times, it's useless. I think Lightfoot for me was much more overpowered, because you had value from it all the time. It was valuable all around the game. So now let's move to the other part, which is the revive bolts. And I like the nerf here. Let's see. Revive bolts are now scarce and can only be looted from dead hunters and come with less ammunition. We plan on revising them further in future updates. So the revive bolts, for me personally, I think they should have been completely be removed from the game. I think they don't fit the game and the experience that is Hunt, because Hunt is a much, not hardcore exactly, but is a slower, more tactful, let's say, and more punishing game. It's not Call of Duty that you can run around. So you have to think, and there are consequences for your actions. And if you make a bad play, you should be punished for that bad play, and the enemy should exploit that. And with the revive bolt, teams had less consequences for bad actions, and they couldn't be punished. And the enemy, either it is solo or duos or trios, even if they put a lot of effort on killing the enemy and trying to capitalize on their mistakes, they were not rewarded for that effort. And the problem is much, much bigger for solos versus trios, for example, and duos versus trios. Because you are already being outnumbered, and the enemy can be revived from crazy angles, and I don't think it's good for the game. For me, this needs to be removed completely. It's something that is gonna be very hard to balance. I don't know after this change if it's gonna be used a lot by players, but if something is very hard to balance, then it shouldn't be there in the first place. It means it doesn't belong. I'm glad they are making the nerf. I didn't expect them to remove it completely. I have seen dislikes for revive bolts from most of the players. I mean, there are few that like it, and I understand it can be chaotic fun, but Hunt is not a chaotic fun game. You can play other games for that one, for that things. So I'm glad for the nerf here, but we plan on revising them further in future updates. It means that this will not be one-time change. They will see it again. So we will see how it goes. Also, in a game like Hunt, where you can be killed by a single headshot from any weapon, having a revive bolts is it gives you much more time. I mean, for how long do you think a player can play at 100% and keep pushing without making a mistake? Because what the revive bolt did is give more time to the team to get the upper hand, but it is unfair for the other side. And if you've seen plays that there are two teams with revive bolts, it's a meme fest. People dying, reviving, dying, reviving. That's not Hunt. So this was a bit of a rant because I don't like revive bolts, but let's move forward. The Krag. The Krag will now have slightly reduced extra ammo capacity from 12 to 10, used to be 8 last year, and goes up in cost to $450 to encourage more arsenal variety. Yes, another topic for the community, the Krag was OP, is OP, and it needs a nerf. Now, reducing the ammo, I don't know. It's 2 shots, okay, you could feel it in a long fight, but if you bring a toolkit with you, okay, especially for teams that everyone can bring one toolkit, it's not gonna change much. Now the cost, okay, it's good that it's higher the cost because the gun is OP, but I don't know if it is enough for people to stop playing the Krag as a meta. We will see, but it definitely needed some kind of nerf. Now, the Uppercut will be made cheaper again, dropping to $310. Okay, yes, the Uppercut was rarely used, was too expensive, and yes, it's a bit of a buff for the weapon. Maybe we will see more of it. We will see. Now, the Surefoot trait will no longer have faster crouch speed and will go up in cost to 6 upgrade points. Another nerf for solos here, because it still has its value as a trait, because mainly the biggest value from this trait is that you can run and heal. That is the most important thing here. I didn't use it very much. The crouch speed, I don't think it was that big of a change, but still a nerf for the trait, and also it's going to be more expensive. Next, it will now require 3 bear traps to kill an enemy hunter, allowing players to avoid using a single tool slot choice, which allows for easy insta-kills trap setups on their own without using explosive barrels, extra traps found in the world, or the frontiersman trait. So, a nerf to the bear traps. Okay, bear traps, I think, are really strong. 2 of them could kill you, and if positioned correctly, they would do a very good job. I don't think they were very OP. They definitely were strong, and especially if you wanted to trap a body, with 2 of them, you would do the job. Now you will need 3. Now this will save people at some situations. Maybe now the player that killed the other player needs to cover the body instead of walking away, especially if it's a solo player and you trap it. Now, if you don't have a 3rd trap and used it before, you maybe need to cover the body or use another trap to combine it with. I don't know how this will go, but I didn't have much of a problem with the bear traps before. Now, melee tools will cause more damage to targets, and there are more in-world melee weapons spawned near boss target layers again. More damage for melee tools. I don't care too much about this one, but the thing that you cannot find easily melee weapons, in-world melee weapons around the game anymore, it's true. I've been trying to do the achievement with a sledgehammer, and I cannot find a sledgehammer in many of the games. And when I find it, I am in such a bad position to use it. So I'm trying to do that achievement now. I think I will pull it one of these days. Next, pull out damage from stack projectiles is back to a meaningful level of damage. We'll talk about how this affects traits like Blademancer and Berserker at a later time. So they bring back the pull-out damage. Now, the meaningful level of damage, we will see how meaningful is that level. And the part that they say this affects traits like Blademancer and Berserker. So they are bringing back Blademancer. I like Blademancer. I think it was a cool trait. It was overpowered the way it was. It needs adjustments, but it was a very good quality of life improvement for people that were using ranged tools like daggers, and also for bows and crossbows, because in a perfect world, this trait shouldn't be needed. But because the game is buggy, it's clunky, it's not very easy sometimes to find the tools that you have thrown, and sometimes they get lost in the environment. So if that was fixed, this trait wouldn't be needed. But the way the game is, it's a very good quality of life because it's not easy getting back your tools from this one. And so probably they will bring back Blademancer from what I see, but at a later time, we'll see how that goes. Next, we've also spent a lot of time on fixing some of our more challenging, long-standing bugs. Okay, bug fixes. Yes, okay. Yes, lots of those. We need lots of those. We refactored the poison damage system to prevent issues around the effects not disappearing correctly. Okay, yes, there was issues with the poison damage. It's good to be fixed. Yeah, another bug. Hanging chains and other sound traps will no longer block attacks during combat. I think this is good. This is good because, yes, it's realistic. Something that is in the way it's gonna block or minimize the damage naturally of an attack, depends on what it is, but it's not fun. Many times I thought I have shot someone and or with a melee weapon tried to hit him and the hit didn't register. This is a good change. The game needs to prioritize being fun first and then realism. There needs to be a balance from both these things. Next, Concertina wire should no longer damage player through walls and ceilings. Finally. I mean, it was stupid, this thing. How many times have you been hit by a wild concertina through a wall? And you are like in a bad situation, you are overwhelmed, and suddenly you start bleeding. And until you take out the bleed, the enemy pushes you and you die. For no reason. This needed to be fixed a long time ago. I'm just a bit worried about the should no longer. I hope it's not just should and just is not like that any longer. And also they need to fix the explosions because they are not working properly too. Many times I have been killed by an explosion that I shouldn't have died. I have the distance and also I had cover surrounding me, and it's not that I got hit. I instantly died from full health. And explosions I think need to be looked at in the same way like Concertina wire is. Lastly, here are some of our upcoming changes you can expect in 2.3. So let's see. The fast finger straight have been added to the Martini, Henry, and Maynard sniper families. Okay, this was expected. They said they're going to add the fast finger straight to more weapons. I think it's gonna fit well with the Martini. I like the fast fingers. I played a lot of Springfield, although I think Sparks is a much better choice than Springfield, but I like the way that Springfield works and sounds. So especially with bleed ammo, that weapon is quite a bully, and I might upload a video about the Springfield with bleed. We'll see. And now about the Maynard sniper. Now I'm a bit worried about that one. I mean, Maynard sniper, it's a really good weapon, especially with the bleed. Now without the bleed, of course it gets outshined by Krag sniper, and maybe this is why they put it on Maynard too. I don't know. I hope we are not overwhelmed with Maynard snipers, bleed ammo, and fast fingers in the game. But again, you have Krag sniper, so yeah. The bolt thrower trait now also works for the bomb lance and bomb launcher. Yes, finally, that is something that should have been done a long time ago. I rarely see bomb lance and bomb launcher anymore. And since they work the same way as a crossbow is one of the best weapons for me in the game. Especially shotbolt. Shotbolt is the best shotgun in the game. And you can do it effectively from distance, okay? You have more chances on killing someone with a shotbolt than a shotgun. This is a good change. It needed to happen. Very good. Now, weekly challenges are now coming in random weekly sets to reduce the chance of individual weapons dominating entire weeks. Finally. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking with the weekly challenges. They didn't make sense. They were boring, first of all, and it's like they didn't think about them. They just put them, okay, put some challenges, and that's it. Everyone using this, especially in the first couple of days of the week, if you play the game, everyone using the same weapons to complete the challenges. It's very annoying. It was very annoying. So this is a good thing. I just hope they just don't mix the challenges and they put some more meaningful challenges, some better challenges, because again, okay, it fixes the part about not everyone using the same weapon, but I hope they are not still boring like they are now. They should be challenges, as I said, not like, okay, hit an enemy with a pistol, hit an enemy with a bleed arm. Okay, I think they should bring some more creativity in weekly challenges. Next, the Conduit trait now gives solo hunters double the stamina reward and progresses 2 clue steps with 1 interaction. This is a buff for the Conduit for solos. I don't think it's huge. You get more stamina, okay? So if you have this trait, you don't need to have a stamina shot with you. And it's gonna be good for solos to progress faster in the map. Now, you already got 2 clue steps before from 1 direction, so that stays the same. It's a buff. I don't think it's gonna impact much the game. Next, the Vetterli has been given an improved rate of fire in ADS with the Iron Eye trait. Okay, the Vetterli was a mid weapon. I don't like the iron sights on the Vetterli, that's why I don't use it. I think it's fine. It's not a bad weapon, but it gets outshined by other weapons. So improving the rate of fire in ADS, but you have to have the Iron Eye trait. Maybe we will see more of it. And then we have the Centennial's rate of fire has been reduced slightly at the same time. A buff for Vetterli, a nerf for Centennial. Okay, we'll see how much that changes. It depends on what is the change in the rate of fire. Next, players can now disarm and pick up dark dynamite satchels, storing them back in their inventory if they have a free slot. It's a buff. I have rarely seen them. After the honeymoon phase of the first time they were launched with the bounty class, I very rarely see dark dynamite satchels. They are very quirky on how they work. You need to make a setup for them, like bring another trap, an alarm trap next to it to set it, because I don't know if I've seen any player that set it manually. So this is a good thing that you can pick it up again, okay, and maybe change the location if you think it's been misplaced, because you have to be very good where you put this, or else you lose. It's just a loss of money to bring it. Now let's move to, this is the most important part. What they are saying here, these things, I think is the most important part of this announcement, of this new update announcement. And this is why I asked the question, is Crytek finally listening? So let's see what they say here. As we said last year, update 2.3 will be lighter on new content and features as we focus on actioning more bug fixes and improvements. We will be focusing on stability, performance, and more, ultimately raising the quality of your gameplay experience significantly. Moving forward, through 2025, we will be bringing unique new events, but at a lower frequency and with a priority on delivering these key improvements over new content. This is the most important thing, because this shows the direction of, at least for 2025, of the devs for the game, and I think this is a step in the right direction. The game has a lot of problems. Everyone knows that. From balancing, which is all over the place, the balance. Performance is really bad. Patch after patch, it's getting worse. Sound is very clunky now. Many times I cannot understand the elevation of a sound, if it's below or up. I can understand the direction, left, right, north, south, and all that, but many of the times I cannot understand if it's higher or lower, below. You have network issues, server issues, and some very bad choices on new items and new traits that doesn't fit the game. This is very important. I think they need to prioritize on fixing the games, fixing the problem of the games, because the core of the game is not in a good situation right now. And if they continue like that, the game will crumble eventually. So it's good to see them that they are focusing on fixing those things and then adding, because everyone likes having new events, having new stuff to play around and refreshing the game. Okay, but we've lost so much with the past updates from the core game and the problems that there are, that those things are meaningless. So it's good they are focusing here. To answer the question, I think Crytek is listening more than they did before, and we can see that from their latest responses in their patches, and also they finally done hotfixes between an event. That was rare to see. I see some goodwill here. Of course, they need to fix a lot of stuff. There is a long road ahead to fix all these things, and with the history that Crytek has with this game, I just hope they don't mess it up like they did with the UI, which they are planning to fix, but it's taking too long. And I just hope they, trying to fix it, they don't mess it up again. Anyway, I think the game, if they stay in this philosophy, it's going in a good direction. Yes, I want more events and stuff to do in the game, but I want it to be fixed first, to enjoy it, and then we get what we get. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about these changes? What do you think about the direction of the game, the state of the game at the moment? I wish you a nice day, and I will see you on the next one.